Well, welcome to session 6 of Intro to Christian Doctrines. Last time we looked at Christology, or the person of Jesus. Now we're going to look at soteriology, which is the doctrine of salvation, which is primarily Jesus' work, the work that Jesus did to reconcile us to God on the cross. Now, the question is, how does this death of one man 2,000 years ago on a Roman cross save us from our sins today? How does it reconcile us to God? What is the mechanism of salvation, of redemption that Jesus' death and resurrection brings about? Now, the New Testament has a lot of different metaphors or motifs that it uses to reflect upon that question. One of the major ones is sacrifice, and the book of Hebrews talks a lot about that. Jesus' death is a sacrificial offering. In fact, Jesus is the high priest who offers the sacrifice and yet is the sacrifice at the same time. And through his cleansing blood, we are able to enter into the most holy of holies, into the very presence of God himself. But there are other motives as well, such as ransom. Jesus' death frees us from captivity. We are bound by sin and death and the powers of this world, and Jesus' death breaks that hold, breaks their power over us, and we are released, freed from captivity into the presence of God. There are other motives as well. Jesus is our example. We read about that in Peter. Or Jesus is our Passover lamb who was slain. So there are many, many different concepts and models of how Jesus' death saves us in the New Testament. And theologians over the years have taken those models, those reflections, and they've packaged them up in particular theories. We call them atonement theories. Atonement meaning literally at one meant, how it brings God and creation back together again as into one, into harmony. And of course, salvation and the redemptive work of Christ on the cross is not just for human salvation, as if we are to escape this fallen world and get to heaven, but rather God is redeeming the entire world. There's going to be a new heavens and a new earth. All of that is going to come about because of the redemptive work of Christ on the cross. So this session is really very, very important. It's foundational to the Christian faith, and there's lots to learn of different ways that the church has understood how Jesus' death saves us from sin. But it's very exciting. So look forward to reading the readings and the work in the textbook. It's quite good in this session, and I'm sure you'll have fun discussing it in your groups. So enjoy. We'll see you in the next session.